Hello everyone, my name is Syifa Fitri Hamzah, and today I want to present my sociolinguistics assignment about language typology according to some language typologists. So let's get started. What is language typology? Language typology is a new branch of general linguistics that studies the systems of languages comparatively, also finds common laws of languages, and establishes differences and similarities between them. Language typology classifies the world's languages according to similarities and differences in their linguistic structures and genetic relationships. It has to be noted that language typology is cross-linguistic, which means it is related to languages of different families and types, especially relating to the comparison of different languages. Next, I will discuss some theory of language typology according to these three linguists, namely Johannes Schmidt, Wilhelm von Humboldt, and William Alexander Stewart. Now we move to the first one, Johannes Schmidt. Schmidt stated that linguistic innovation spread from one language or dialect through contact on the part of speakers of neighboring languages and dialects. Languages often share innovation that cannot be attributed to a common ancestor, which this statement is believed to be the basis of the wave theory. Wave theory is a model of language change in which a new language feature or a new combination of language features spreads from its region of origin, affecting a gradually expanding cluster of dialects. Wave theory incorporates the borrowing of words that happens between languages, such as when one culture introduces the concepts or trade goods to another, and then the borrowing of new linguistic features by children from their peers, and the spread of those children to other areas. One of the examples of wave theory is the umlaut in Germanic language. Umlaut in the Germanic language is not a Proto-Germanic innovation, but seems to have spread through the Germanic language dialects after the period of differentiation. Gothic, the earliest attested Germanic language, doesn't exhibit umlaut. The process of umlaut is found in both North Germanic and West Germanic languages. The wave-like spread of this innovation is suggested by the fact that dialects spoken in the south of Germany do not exhibit as many umlauted forms as dialects in the north of Germany. Next, there is a language typology according to Wilhelm von Humboldt. So, according to Humboldt's classification, all languages can be divided into four categories. It is isolating, inflectional, agglutinative, and incorporating. I will explain the first one, isolating. So, isolating is a language in which almost every word consists of a single morpheme, so there cannot be any modification within the words. Distinctive feature that is commonly found in this type of language is the tone difference. This is why this type of language often called tonal language, such as Vietnamese, Thai, and groups of Chinese like Mandarin and so on. You can see in the example that there is no modification within the word, but when it is said in different tone, each tone will provide different meaning. Second, there is inflectional. Inflectional languages indicate certain meanings and relationships by affixation. Humboldt stated that only the inflectional languages fully realize the inner fusion of meaning and syntactic function in the word. And that's why these languages have a great variety of modifications to express various types, numbers, genders, and so on. For example, in Arabic, as you can see that the word forms that refer to gender and number is different by its affix. Next is agglutinative. An agglutinative language exhibits a great deal of affixation. It may contain different morphemes to determine their meaning. But each of these morphemes remains in every aspect unchanged after their union. A language is agglutinative if the morphemes that occur in a word are easily segmentable. For example, is Turkish. Each lexical meaning and grammatical category is in general expressed by its own morpheme, and the junctures between morphemes tend to be clear. We can divide the word f, ler, im, de according to the morphemes, and each of it express the lexical and grammatical category. The last one is incorporating. This type of language tends to connect all words in one. That's why Humboldt said that it is a language with sentence words. The most typical aspect of the phenomenon of incorporation is that the verb object is found in the same word as the verb root, just like the example shows there. Now we move to the last linguist. It is language typology according to William Alexander Stewart. Stewart stated that linguistic systems characterized by different configuration of such attributes will tend to fall into different categories of intrinsic social value, in which such categories will be referred to as language type. The classification of linguistic systems into language types can be made on the basis of the presence and the absence of four attributes that will be defined in the next slide. So the first is standardization. It is the codification and acceptance of a language within the community of users. The standardization of a given language may be monocentric. It is consisting at any given time of a single set of universally accepted norms, such as French and Dutch. Or it may be polycentric, where different sets of norms exist simultaneously, like Serbo-Croatian in Yugoslavia. Second, there is autonomy, which is the function of the linguistic system as a unique and independent one. Where two historically related linguistic systems exist, but where structural differences are fairly marked and there is no sociolinguistic interdependence, each will be autonomous in terms of the other. Accordingly, in situations where two or more historically related linguistic systems are involved, the presence and the absence of autonomy can serve as a useful criterion for distinguishing between language and dialect. Third, there is historicity. Historicity refers to the fact that a particular group of people finds a sense of identity through using a particular language. For example, in the 19th century, a German nation was unified around the German language, just as in the previous century, Russian had unified around the revitalized Russian language. And the last one is vitality. It is the use of the linguistic system by an isolated community of native speakers to show whether there is a living community of speakers who use the language or whether the language is dead or dying. Although this attribute probably has less effect upon the potential social importance of a linguistic system than any of the preceding ones, the existence of a community of native speakers does tend to contribute to it in proportion to such factors as the number and geographic distribution of such speakers and the impact of non-linguistic aspects of their culture on others. Okay, so that is all that I wanted to tell you about language typology. Thank you for watching and goodbye.